You Mammy. Ooh. I'm calling you a Mammy. So Tim, so come at me, y'all. That's some Mammy shit. First of all, listen, y'all, if y'all had something to say about Tim, y'all Negro squad of the Fred Hampton leftists should have got together and roasted Tim down as a group of Black people. You don't run over to no white platform and sit around and start talking about what's wrong with the Black community. What's wrong with the Black community is fucking sedity ass Black people like you who have a little education, look down on their nose and say bullshit like you know what's wrong with the Black community. There ain't nothing wrong with our community that some money and some fucking therapy wouldn't fix. And we fighting for it. You're not fighting for our community to get better. You're looking down your nose at us in a white space. I would have had no problem if you would have said that bullshit with all the dumb Black people from Fred Hampton leftists, because at least it would have been said in front of Black people. It still would have been a problem, but this is so off code. You don't do this.
Listening to Reset Race, you now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, back on the grill again. We grilling them, You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-Black we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. The win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Because the white boys used her as cover to talk shit about me.
So it's just like, why do you think that she, like, do you think that's literally what it is? Like the fact that she's a Black woman? Because I don't want to assume that, Tim Black is he's a guy who really cares about Black issues. So I'm wondering if you think there's another dynamic at play here, or what do you think? Is this, more just misogyny? Like, what do you see?
So you're sitting there and you didn't see that she was getting set up? Like,
they were priming the pump. They were priming the pump.
They were priming the pump. Say that shit. So they sent your Black. You are a Mammy. For those of y'all who don't know what it is, Gone with the Wind, Hattie McDaniels. Miss Scarlett, ain't nothing but poet. Miss Scarlett, I'ma call you.
You got to figure it.
You are a Mammy.
Oh, now, Miss Scarlett, you come on and be good and eat just a little,
No, I'm going to have a good time today. And do my eating at the barbecue.
If you don't care what folks says about this family, I does. I has told you that you can always tell a lady but the way that she eat in front of folks like a bird. And I ain't aiming for you to go to Mr. John Wilkins's and eat like a field hand and gobble like a hog.
Fiddle-dee-dee.
And Sabby Stabs, you talking about, we saw how they asked you if you reached out to Reset Race, talking about, oh no, I haven't reached out to Boo Boo. You unfollowed me after we dragged your ass for that fucking reparations episode. You wasn't in it, but we dragged your crew and your ass fucking unfollowed me. So don't bother reaching out, Boo Boo. That time is done. Reach out to Sandy Darity, reach out to the professionals, the people who are actually fighting for those issues, because you don't need to talk to me. I'm a nobody like you. Talk to our professionals. That's who you need to talk to, so you can illuminate your audience. Because boo boo. But if you want to do a debate, I'll do a debate. But
Ooh,
but
they
that
don't
fake
want
shit,
that.
I'm gonna put that shit out there. Because if you wanted to have a
Oh, they don't want that.
conversation, if you wanted to have a conversation, you could have had a conversation after we blew y'all out the water. But none of y'all reached out. All of y'all called us haters. Even your ass called us haters. And look, Black people, quit calling. If I call you out because you have shitty ass Black politics, what the fuck am I hating on you for? You guys have been doing a podcast for 2 fucking seconds. You've had massive amounts of promotion and your numbers still are just what the fuck ever. And you're not what are you building? What are you building for Black? You don't have Black people following you. How can you speak for Black people when Black people ain't even riding with you?
No, that's the reverse is true, Sam. They're speaking for white people to Black people. That's what's going on, right? This is not them speaking for
But
Black people in
people
white
don't watch
spaces. I know,
Black-
but the white people don't care. They just cover, right? So really quickly, this is for Black folks. For Black folks, we see what's going on. So I'm going to give you an explainer when you people watch this drama unfold, right? You know who people work for when there is conflict, right? Who do they side with in conflict? That's where you know who people work for because you know who signs their checks, right? Who are these people siding with, right? You see where Sab is. Well, you see where all the Fred Hampton Lamptons are, right? Even though they're over there in a Black space, they're doing a show for white people. They even lied on Cornel West to help to push this narrative that Tim is evil, right? So they betrayed a Black man, one of the most honorable and kind Black men in our political discourse, right? They lied on him. Sabby Sabs is getting primed here like a fucking siphoning a fucking gas tank, right? So, but us, not to say that we're all that. You see what Tim did? He's standing by himself on his own too as a Black man and a business owner. He answers to himself and his wolf pack. We answer to each other, right? You see, that's how Black people can see how this translates, right? And as this drama unfolds, especially after this video goes out and little videos here and there that's going out, you'll see even further who's with us and who's against us. This is a cut the grass moment, as I like to call it. When you cut the grass, you can see all the snakes. She's a snake. Fred Hampton leftist, snakes. All the Black people siding with this, snakes. All the Black people telling Tim to be quiet, or telling him he's talking too much, or he's spending too much time on this, even though they accused him of being a grape threatener, somebody who threatened grape without the G. They accused him of being somebody who threatened grape on Bree Joy. The people siding with those people, even after the fact, snakes, each and every one of them. And what's that dude's name? Eclectic Progressive, whatever it is name, Chris, whatever the hell his name is, snake. Talk about you, my friend Tim. Let me tell you as a friend.
Yeah, but
no.
He's backing up. He never had nothing to say after we exposed the Fred Hampton leftists, though.
No,
we exposed
nothing
they
he
ass.
could
He
say.
didn't have nothing to say. Like, oh, but Black, yeah, nah. Quit. White people, listen. If regular Black people are telling you that the people you like ain't it for Black people, you don't get to tell us any different. We pick who fucking represents us, not you.
Yes. And we out here smashing all your Pokemons, whatever the hell they are. I'm old. I don't know.
Pokemon, gotta catch them all.
Okay, what you got? Subsidize and quiet. Mud's a little quiet.
Well, I think that I honestly think that her whole purpose is to give the white audience the okay to just dismiss Tim Black.
Yes.
That's her job. That's their job.
Yeah, and they don't want to lose the white leftists to us. Like, they don't want to lose them to us because that's pretty much all they got. Like, this little pocket of white leftists and like some POC, tag along, whatever's. But if they lose that core, then what is the left? Because they sure don't have Black people for real. Like, honestly. And even with the POCs, like they don't really have them in significant numbers. I mean, it's really just these white people that, you know, for the most part, I think they're either upper middle class or they really have some bread.
Yeah, it's these rich fuckers. It's not a bunch of poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bosch's bitch ass said he's from Beverly fucking Hills.
Exactly. And if these leftists lose that and that money comes over to funding like our issues, things will drastically change in politics. So I think they're just like, all of them are just like trying to keep their audience where they're at with riding for this mission of, we are going to do this race blind, universal program shit, and damn the black people that's been making all this noise about reparations and doing things specifically for them.
That's a fact. And there was a guy in our comments, in our video comments, said he says he worked for Bernie. And he says that's been the whole thing of this progressive left, was to do nothing for us and try to still corral us into their movement, and knowing they don't plan to do anything for us.
Oh, so you mean more benign neglect? Like the Democrats always do? Come on. We see your game. We see your game. We're not falling for it. Either you're gonna build a real coalition, or this shit's gonna end.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
But I'm just saying, before you go, MG, because you already know I need some wisdom from you, man, because it's getting thick right now. I ain't gonna lie, it's getting thicker than a bowl of gravy. You heard me? Like, it's getting southern gravy with the sauces in it. Like, man. So it's like the whole thing is like, I feel like this whole thing though is Tim Black, how Tim Black always felt. He's chilled out. He chilled out for years. And we all knew, even when we disagreed with him with the forced to vote thing, even when, you know what I mean? Even the top ADOS, top blackity black knew he was the blackest person on the left. I always said this on every show, either I disagree with him, agree with him. I was like, he the blackest one they got over there. He the blackest one. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, we all know he felt like this, but now you feel me? It finally came out. He's like, yo, fuck that. Kalkalinsky on some bullshit. Sam Cedar on some bullshit. Jimmy Dore and his wife on some bullshit. The white people party on some bullshit. Bree Joy on some bullshit. I don't want to see that. But
Savvy Sam on some bullshit.
Everybody, he like, yo, Marshmallow Lefty on some. I'm like, yo, he getting at everybody. Lefties I didn't even know about. He like, yo, you eat a pickle man, shut the fuck up. I'm like, yo, Tim Black going crazy. But he had every right to go crazy, because as a black man in that space, to hold that kind of space for so long and not really bring your issues, like, and see the issues, because it's small. You know what I'm saying? It's macroaggressions. They keep coming. Or it's a dismissal. It's a certain type of racism that's not overt. It's very, if this is the left, this is very, very subvert racism that we always felt. And it came out. And it's like, now he came out with that. He said that, so they try to ping him to be a misogynist and a big black brute. I literally seen some white dude on Twitter say, like, he's a big black man speaking aggressively and towards the. I'm like, yo, you know how many white boys is on Twitter? Jimmy Dore been going hammer lamb on everybody for years. The only reason he got Me Too was Anna finally just was like, yo, he looked at me funny. That's it. I see him come at everybody.
that was a get off my boss moment. That's what the fuck that was.
He looked at me. I'm like, he coming at everybody. Say Tim Black was getting at the whole liberal, all the quote unquote neo libs, Joe Biden, the whole CBC. You feel me? The whole CBC, Maxine Waters, all of them. These are a bunch of black women too. They don't serve our interests or nothing like that. But he was like, I'm about to get in the CBC ass. Maxine Waters, you on some bullshit. Oh, I loved him. Oh my God. Yes. He's like, yo, Bree, because if him Bree, you on some bullshit. I think that you a white woman that don't know what the fuck is going on. I said, oh shit. He going off. That's it though. It was nothing sexual. It was nothing misogynistic. It was no vibes like that about that. He was really getting at Bree politics, like the same way we get at her politics. Her politics is very, very anti-black, benign neglect politics, and we proved that that's what her function is she said it. They did it in front of us for so long that nobody never seen it. All we said is like, this is what they've been doing. We slowed it down. We just like, this is what the left been doing. These black faces for the left been doing this type of shit for years. And all we just was like, yo, like everybody knew it. We just came on like, yo, we caught it in real time. Like, look, let's stop it right there. That's when they doing it. Stop right. Oh my God, see that? Mm-hmm. And now they scrambling trying to talk about like he's a big black, he's a big black man talking about Bree. When he got at Nick Brown talking about he lived with his daddy, and it's the white people party. He was on Nick Brown. To me, I felt more scared for Nick Brown than
and Jimmy. Nick Brown and Jimmy caught most of it. Yep.
It was going to be him. He's like, take my fucking shit off your fucking page. He was going crazy on Nick Brown. But Bree, he was like, no, you don't get a pass, Bree. You don't get a pass. Like, you've been doing this for years. Like, and you literally just said it in real time how you were picked by the white left.
What's the difference between going at this woman or going at Bree and going at Candace Owens? Is it wrong for me to say, Candace Owens, you don't speak for black people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bree is a misinformation asset. That's why they're protecting it.
So keep going. I feel like you want to go. I feel like you want to go deeper. Keep going.
I do, but please don't take that as a rape thing, white people. It's not.
Great
without a G.
Great. But again, like I can go at Candace Owens all day and say this person is being used to distract away from actual black issues, and they're just using this person's black face to talk about the problems in the black community. Ain't that what old girl just did just now?
Yep.
Oh, but the problems in the black community, we don't respect people who are highly educated. Since when? When was this? Like I've been in black communities my whole life, and I've never known this to be a dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
The only people who say things like that are people who don't grow up in black communities.
Mm.
And then you get mad when people say you can't speak for black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're sitting up there with Hanson, and it's just I just don't understand you. Like, I don't mind you going over to hang out with white leftists. I really don't. Like if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. But hang out with your white leftists and leave my people and my politics alone. Because you are not the proper representation for that. You don't care. In the same way you don't care about my politics, I don't care about you and your universalist projects.
Mm-hmm.
You need to come over to where I am. Because I've been here since the end of slavery waiting on my reparations.
Facts.
Like if white people had power, if the white left had power, you wouldn't need to come get the Negroes, would you? So we really need to redefine this relationship. Who needs who for real?
Ooh, are you saying you're tired of being the ugly fat side chick? Like we have lost weight. We have gotten our mommy makeover. We have done our makeup. We got our heels. We got our boobs up to the sky. And God damn it, you are gonna treat us like a wife. All they do is fuck us, but they don't give us nothing. We are literally just side ass.
But they don't even come in our house, so they're not even fucking us.
Yeah, they do. They fucking
you talking about the left or the Democrats?
We go vote for them and they give us nothing. That's them fucking us.
Oh, we're talking Democrats. Democrats. Yeah, I'm just saying.
The left just describes that. They're like, see? Like, you let the Terry bone. I know I look better than that.
You don't think I'm gonna give it up after 1 week? You must think I'm a hoe.
What? Why you frontin'? Let that nigga Terry bone. I know I look better than that.
She said that people have written her and told her she shouldn't talk to white people. Should not talk to white people. Why did she go on all these white platforms? And she got mad. She said, what? I'm married to a white man. What am I supposed to do? Separate myself from him too?
But that just seems totally wrong to me. And I really understand where you're coming from, where it's like, what do you mean that does not denigrate her status as a black woman at all? Like, because she exists in professional spaces alongside her white counterparts. Isn't that what, I don't know. Personally, I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
there are some people who think that if you're Black and you're on the left and you're doing like independent, media, that they only want you to speak to Black people. They only want you to stay in that lane. They don't want you collaborating with other white commentators. I've had people send those messages to me too. And I'm like, dude, you do realize my husband is white, right? Do you want me to exile him too? Like, it's just stupid. So
savvy Sab. Now, Reset Race has had white people on our show damn near since like definitely within the first first 4 months. It was pretty early on.
Yep.
Pretty early on. We've had 3 white guests, and they've come on multiple times. No one has ever complained about a single one of our white guests being on our show. And yeah, you don't see them, but you hear their accents. You know they ain't Black people.
So why? So why, Sam?
Because they riding harder for Black people than you are. That's why. That's why. The people don't complain about the white people who come on our show, because the white people who come on our show are talking about how Black people need reparations and how this is a debt that is owed. John comes on our show and pulls up whole effing books talking about the Black struggle and everything that happened. Like, our white people who come on our show are legit. When my girl Edie comes on this show, she's on here being passionate. If she doesn't know something, she's here to listen. If she got something to add, she adds it. Nobody has ever complained about the white people on my show. The only pushback I ever got is because I be caping for poor whites because I want to save the whole country. That's the only thing I get pushback on, and that's not even from all Black people. It's from a very small, particular sect who are tired and frustrated and fed up and want to be like, fuck you people. But me, I still have my poor God sisters, and I would like to see their little white blue-eyed babies grow up to have a much better life. I don't want them to end up getting strung out on meth and spending a decade of their lives as drug addicts. I don't want that world for them. I want them to have the best fucking opportunities that are available. And these are white children. So for all of y'all, like, you just hate white people, you just hate the left. No, I care about poor people. You don't. If you cared about poor people, you would be paying attention to the policies. Start actually making them show you how this will adjust the wealth gap. And for us, and if it's not for us, for poor whites, make them show you how much money this is actually going to add to their wealth. That's the wealth gap too. We have our racial wealth gap, but y'all got y'all bullshit. So start actually focusing on making them push a federal jobs guarantee and $25 an hour put together should be at the bare minimum what you guys are pushing. I'm sorry, Medicare for all is cool and I'm with it, but that's not a winner by itself. Jobs and money is a winner. People are used to being sick and broke. The only people who are really upset about the Medicare stuff is white people because you guys are going bankrupt. Like Mud and all the rest of us say, we broke, we just don't pay the shit. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna take? You don't own shit. Like John said, his mom never owned a home. Like, what were they gonna take? Never owned a home or a car. What was they gonna take? They gonna come and take her dishes? Like, the fuck?
They come take John.
Listen, don't even put that shit in the atmosphere. Don't even put it in the atmosphere. They might come get me, man. I ain't trying to go.
My bad.
You so funny.
You put the
John.
energy out, MG. They coming to get me anyway.
Yeah, what?
Nah, they just sentence you to another generation in the ghetto.
That's automatic.
Why you want to make it more real? Like, why you want to make? Come on, why? Just talk about how is that real, but you made it more real. Somebody please save me.
Nah, it's just real though. Like, I'm just so tired.
White folks will adopt you, man.
Shit, man.
He's so
dress up. Angelina Jolie gonna adopt him.
I don't want to go back home to what the niggas that took. I don't want. Never mind. I don't even want to get into that right now. This ain't the episode. Another episode.
Wow. Mud, what you got, man? Try to calm these people down. A bunch of weirdos. Go ahead, John. Mud, you got anything?
I just think that, yeah, I mean, we are tired. We're tired of all the games that are being played by everybody. And I think that, there is a segment of white America and like just everybody is tired of the bullshit. We're tired of the distractions. If you really want to do this shit, you need to figure out a plan and really articulate the shit. Like, why is it that their plans are always so vague and they complain about the culture war stuff, but they spend so much time talking about culture war stuff? Like I know this is about Tim Black and all that, but this is just a general statement about my frustrations with the left. They don't really focus on policy, like Sam was saying. Like, if we could actually like talk about these things, and even with the reparations thing, they should really take it seriously. And like, they avoid Dr. Darity, they avoid anybody that's serious about this topic. They just want to talk in vague ways about something they haven't even thought seriously about. And most of the policies that they propose, they don't actually think seriously about it. They just think, well, I want people to have free healthcare because I think that's a good thing. Well, how exactly do we do that? You need to be able to articulate these things. And even with the reparations movement, everybody that's been a part of it has kind of did the research and kind of looked into these things and saw Dr. Darity's work, saw Thomas Kramer's work, saw a bunch of people's work in this area, and they took it and they tried to package it in a way to where we can actually get this message out here, and we've been effective. But the left frustrates me because even before I had this mindset that this was like a possibility, I could never take the left seriously because they didn't take themselves seriously.
Wow. That's a bar. That is a bar, Mud. You good, Mud? That's it? I mean, that was enough.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, Mud brings up some good points. Just really quick before you move. No, you know what? Let's go on. Let's handle JB right quick. Go ahead, Sam.
Sorry about that, because I sure was talking. Okay, so this isn't the video we did, but I just kind of wanted to play it. But the end piece is, and then it has the part with Nick, and then from there it picks up where Doc, because I just wanted to show what our allies sound like, the white people who come on our show, and why, so you'll understand why we don't get complaints. But I love taking the time to drag the Fred Hampton leftist, assessor, savvy Sabs, who's out here disrespecting black men. So let me come out here and slap around her men.
Before we get tuition-free public college, before we get a Green New Deal, before we get anything else, it is,
Oh, no, let me go back a little bit further, because he even prefaces it.
They're the Fred Rogers leftists.
There's going to be a school of thought that some people of ADOS is going to disagree with me on, but I'm going to try to explain my position. Now, there are some who say, we've been told countless times for years to wait. And so you have some who have the thought that we'd better get our reparations first before anything else. Before we get universal health care, before we get tuition-free public college, before we get a Green New Deal, before we get anything else, it is, the thought that we should have reparations first. As someone who does feel as strongly as I do about reparations, to me, it's not about whether we should or shouldn't. We definitely should, but it's about the order in how we get it. What do I mean by this? Reparations is great, but what good is reparations when that money gets absorbed by student loan debt? What good is reparations if it's absorbed by medical debt? What good is reparations if it's absorbed by greedy capitalistic landlords that know that you got a check and now they're going to exponentially raise your rent? My thing is I want reparations to be safeguarded. Reparations is supposed to be an equalizing and a repair of wealth inequality between black people and white people in this nation. So if that's the case, then that means reparations should be a disposable income for black people. Reparations is supposed to be wealth that we have yet to accumulate and is being given to us. So that being said, how do we safeguard against this? Unfortunately, to some members of ADOS, they're not going to like me hearing me say this, but things like universal health care, universal tuition-free public college, tuition-free public college, green infrastructure, all these universal programs have to be implemented first, not because we want to have to wait, but because these greedy capitalists, as soon as they see that we get a reparations check, it is gone. We won't have it anymore because we don't have these safeguards in place. So if we have tuition-free public college and if everyone's college debt is cleared, that's money that your reparations does not have to go towards. If we have housing for all, and we have, let's say, just hypothetically, we had a nationalized rent control,
let them talk.
Then they won't be able to swipe your reparations money from under you so quickly because you need a place to live. And then on top of it, you have, we need a planet to live on. And so there's so many different things, excuse me, that could undermine us getting reparations, and we'll end up back in the same place that we were before. Now, if there's any counter arguments, I'm definitely willing to hear from them. But to me, it's about the order in which you get them, because I don't want the reparations to be taken away like that and us end up back in the same position. So this is one of the things why I want reparations to be safeguarded. And I think we should do the universal programs and the reparations.
I'm gonna let him finish because he's gonna say simultaneously. But see how they say a bunch of bullshit, and at the end they be like, then we should do them simultaneously. So you ignore all the bullshit they said before, but it was internalized in your soul, and they let you know that it's okay that you don't want to do it for Black people first. When the Black people who are leading movements in this country from all of the groups are saying reparations first. Outside of them boule Negroes, outside of, like, come on. So y'all fuck. But let's not do a whole thing. But if anybody wants to give a little piece, because there's more, but the rest of it we saw. This part we didn't do. But it's gotta be short. It can't be super long, y'all. Josiah, you want a piece? You want a piece, Josiah? Because you missed this. You want a piece?
Just a little bit, right?
You want a nibble?
If y'all wouldn't mind me
easy.
Y'all wouldn't mind me quoting Brianna Joy Gray here.
Please.
Because apparently building affordable housing absolutely does good, even if folks are discriminated against. Because in one scenario, they are homeless, while in another, at least some of them have homes. Of course, discrimination is awful, but doing nothing until racism is cured is absurd. And this is Brianna Joy Gray's response to Nicole Hannah Jones about affordable housing.
And send that to me, please, so we can put it up for the people.
I got you 100%. But they understand this concept just fine. They're just trying to trade our trauma and issues for white leftist projects. That's all that is.
Well, the Fred Hampton leftists said that they want to be the next Cornel West and Richard Wolff, but you guys just aren't smart enough. I don't really think anybody in your ranks is smart enough to do that. There might be one person that I could see be smart enough to do it. The rest of y'all ain't got a chance.
I know that the top argument is that this money is going to go back to capitalism. Okay. So I had to sit on this and really think about how American capitalism, because everybody has a form of these all economic systems. They have a form of socialism over there, form of capitalism over here. This particular form of capitalism that we have here is built off the back of slaves. You feel me? Like, and it's built off the back of these slaves. I'm not gonna lie, regardless if they exploiting other people, the foundation of this particular capitalism that we have here is built off the back of these slaves not being able to participate in this economy with no autonomy. You feel me? Like you feel me? Like these people, if they participate in first of all, they shouldn't participate in the economy. If they do get in the labor market or the economic market, they have to tap into certain institutions that are not their own. You know what I mean? In order to keep control over these people, because these people were descended from slaves. And I was like, well, if we get reparations, first of all, because they always say that it's going to go back to the oligarchs. First of all, we get reparations, the oligarchs is going to lose a significant amount of their workforce. You know that, right? Like, you know that, like, Negroes work at Amazon, Walmart, these other shitty ass jobs. You feel me? Like, that fuel this type of capitalism, they're leaving these jobs. Second of all, you feel me? Like, we are consumers of these jobs, and they market these consumer goods to us in a certain way. So at the end of the day, if you give the most poorest people in this country money to compete, you know what I mean? Like, with autonomy, you done turn a chunk of your workers and consumer class into your competitors. People that can compete. Listen, if we get reparations tomorrow, within a month, Supercuts is going out of business. There's no more Supercuts. You're going to Rashid's, my nigga. I'm sorry. You're going to Supercuts is going out of business, man. You're going to Rashid's. Rashid is going to have 50 businesses in 30 states coming to stop taking buildings Supercuts with that bowl cut. Bring him to Rashid. Rich ass Beverly Hills with the beauty salons, university, they roots all thin. Come on, come to Tanika's. Come to Tanika's, man. We get your shit right with some shit in your shit. We putting all the people out of business. That's what reparations is. I think that the thing about it is that, say if we get reparations tomorrow, everybody, Mud, Joe, Sam, MG, we all be like, you know what? Fuck Walmart, man. We gotta do Black Mark. Fuck this bullshit. Fuck Black. If I'm like, and at the end of
no disrespect, Darity, not off the Darity numbers. We need the Thomas Kramer numbers. Off the Darity numbers,
we might
off
need
the Darity numbers, all these Negroes still working a job. Now they might quit. They might quit long enough to find a better job that they like. But they're either starting a business or they're moving into further employment because $272,000.
But Sam,
but we could really be top competence. Like, you done turn the caste that's supposed to be exploited the most. And feel me, like, not only do we work these city jobs the most, we're most unemployed, and we are the top consumers of these fucking exploitive ass countries.
But John, wait a minute, John.
That's more scary than Black people having to be able to compete against all the
get in there.
John, wait a minute. There's 40 million of us, brother. If we put our money together, we don't need no reparations.
Hey, yo, listen, I'm talking about reparations. You crazy? No, not right now. We can't do nothing. Reparations will make us do something.
Yeah, because reparations is not just one check.
I'm drunk at this fucking with you.
Like we keep saying, we want that Darity money as a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 trillion now. So we want 20 trillion for a down payment. And after that, we would like a monthly stipend for the next 325 years. We're giving you a 75-year discount.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Let's finish up, because the point of me pulling this video up was because Doc actually has an answer for them. So let's let it play, okay? I just wanted to put it out there because I wanted Josiah to be able to get a piece because he missed the fire. He missed the roast. So I wanted to be able to get a little piece.
My paycheck is going to go to the capitalists.
Every 2 weeks, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo, man, don't do that.
Simultaneously, so that people who get them, aren't they have that wealth that they can keep and pass down. That's the best way I can explain it.
Issues are still going to be there. They're not going away. I'm not a Black capitalist, so I don't just want a check. I want the conditions materially for everyone to be improved. Then we can get reparations And I know that there are people who argue we're always putting Black issues on the back burner. The number one Black issue to me is the climate, because we can't live on a planet that is uninhabitable to humans. So that's the first thing we got to address. Then we, like JB said, we need universal health care. We need a living wage for everyone. And here's my thing, like, we do all of these social programs and then we get reparations, we'll be in a way better place, because as he just said, we get the reparations first, we're just basically breaking even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's my take on it. Anybody got something to say?
I got something I can add that boosts that backs both your points up, Jackie, because you can get a capitalist to support reparations. Tom Steyer is an example. There are plenty of capitalists that came out for reparations. They do that because they know they're going to get the money back. So Black people hold the most medical debt. We hold a substantial amount of medical debt. About 33% of the population has medical debt. So if you pass reparations without having Medicare for all or a nationalized healthcare system, or without canceling student loan debt, you essentially just took Black suffering and oppression and wrote a check to Big Pharma. If you do it without taking out our prison industrial complex, you pretty much going to get write a check to Black Americans that they take back via civil asset forfeiture and regressive fees. So I don't want my reparations to go back to the same system of white supremacy I'm fighting against. So we should fight for and advocate for reparations, but we got to do it in a very class conscious way. We can't allow the capitalists to ruin this. We already seen examples of I remember they had an area that just passed reparations, and it was implemented in a very capitalist way. So landlords are gonna benefit a lot, as our system is right now. They're gonna benefit. Wall Street gonna benefit. The prison industrial complex is gonna benefit. The big pharma that charges a ton for prescription drugs and through medical debt, they're gonna prop up a ton. I want us to keep our money. I want our money to go to our community. And by having the leftist policies that we support via, like I said, I'm a big sponsor of UBI, like Jackie's saying as well, because we have the money to do this stuff. Mm-hmm. We should have UBI reparations, Medicare for all, living well. We should have all this stuff because we gave billionaires trillions of dollars. So I don't want to hear the argument that we don't have the money. So that's where our mindset came from. The people who are not nuanced, like, oh, I can't believe you guys coming out against reparations. No, we're not. Reparations are something that you should fight for. But you got to understand that we can't allow our money to go right back to the capitalist hands that are responsible for our oppression. That's what I'm advocating for. And also, one more thing I wanted to bring up to back your point up, Jackie, because you were talking about generational wealth. You mentioned that earlier on. I wanted to share this just to highlight the issue that you brought up. They were shared on Twitter a few days ago, but 1 in 5 Black Americans are experiencing poverty for the 3rd generation in a row. Is it sharing? I don't know if it is. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't click the last button. Okay, I caught myself. Okay, so here it is. 1 in 5 Black Americans are experiencing poverty for the 3rd generation in a row, compared to just 1 in 100 white Americans. Late to this, but this is a study of remarkable grim look at economic mobility. And this is John. This is exactly going over the generational wealth that even a lot of poor white people benefit from. So it's not the same level. And once again, I stand in solidarity with anyone who in this class struggle. But if you don't have any generational wealth, like a lot of Black Americans, because of the new Jim Crow, because of the racist institutional capitalist system we live under, this is why we need reparations. So I just want to add those two, because I think that backed up what you said perfectly.
After we fix everybody else in the comments. No, keep going.
Well, you know, Fred Hampton said it wasn't Black capitalism, it's socialism. He said there's a difference. And to what John was talking about, you know, I have a different idea about socialism than what Americans think about socialism. I think that socialism is a system, a socioeconomic system that's devised for the benefit of the society, where capitalism is a system that's devised for the benefit of capital. And I say that, you know, in order to be a socialist in this country, you gotta be opposed to capitalism, because capitalism only benefits a certain group of people, whereas socialism benefits the society. Now, if you take that perspective on socialism versus what Americans talk about when they talk about socialism, even what actual socialists talk about, who are talking about, you know, we need to abolish capitalism and give the workers control and everything like that. When you devise a system that is for the benefit of society, that necessarily includes something like reparations. That has to include some reparations, because if you consider the fact that, you know, Black people represent 13% of our society, and if we leave them out of the equation, then we're not doing for the whole society. You know, so in order to to speak to John here, you actually have to pay those reparations as part of that. And then we talk about how the whole society, blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, whatever, how we all move together, how we all move forward together. But we can't have those discussions until we, like I said, pay the dues that we're owed, that we owe to the people that we owe them to, and get everybody straight, everybody square. And at that point, then we can talk about, whether or not we need to nationalize the labor force. I think we need to nationalize the labor force. We need to make it so that, my ability to live, my ability to eat, my ability to raise my kids up right isn't dependent on some capitalist, need to make profit. But we can't even get to that point until we do the prior work first and actually get all these debts that we owe settled. And so I agree a lot with John. The socialists in this country don't want to talk about that. And I think it's because they're tied to Karl Marx. And Karl Marx will say some kind of nonsense like any kind of racial discussion we have in the country is just a tool of capitalism, or any kind of moral or ethical discussion we have in the country is just capitalism dividing people. But we can't do that. I don't see it like that. I see socialism as a system that benefits and works for the benefit and the interest of all the people in society. And like I said, we can't do that without even something like reparations.
Oh, you mentioned Marx. Let's let Mud handle that one. Mud, what you got, baby?
That's why our blackity black audience and some nice good white folk who listen to us too. And there's a few hater POCs and a few POCs that I think are kind of starting to like us that are in there. But they don't complain about our white guests, because our white guests sound like people who care about black people who descend from American chattel slavery. So that's why our people, they don't complain about people coming on our show. Nobody's ever complained about us having a white man. We put John's white ass face on the front of one of the screens for the video when he was talking about the book. He was literally the thumbnail.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. That's good.
Not a single Negro complained about this white man being up front on a picture. So it has more to do with what you're talking about and how you're talking. The reason why black people are fussing at you is because they can tell you're full of shit. They may just not be able to understand because you guys talk out of both sides of your mouth. You say a bunch of bullshit and then you say shit that people agree with, and you end it most of the time with stuff that people agree with. So they forget all the dumb shit you said before. We're like, well, they're for reparations. And okay. Yeah, no. That's why black people ain't feeling you. You don't vibe. White people and people who did not grow up in the black community, which I didn't, or black people who didn't grow up in the black community and have not taken time to connect with their people as adults. Black people are all about vibrations and feelings. Even if we'll meet people and we can feel you and something ain't right. That's why they're fussing at you. They don't know how to pinpoint it, but they can feel that something's wrong. It's you. It's your vibration. It's the people you're bringing on. It's the stuff you're talking about. And I'm not talking about your whole thing. I'm talking about reparations, because I don't have a problem with the universal policy side. I just need reparations, and I need y'all to beef up y'all universal policy side, because the stuff you talking about ain't doing shit right now. It's not going to help the poorest amongst us. That is the goal of Reset Race. You keep telling us to go fuck ourselves. We want to help the poorest in the country. Poorest people in the country are black people. And after that, it's poor ass whites. So y'all need to get on this federal jobs guarantee and connect it to a $25 an hour. And y'all need to go back to pushing for fucking UBI. Add that to Medicare for all. That's some shit some people get out in the street and march for. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to sit around and tell me that I'm unreasonable because I don't want to give you everything and you give me nothing. I want y'all to do that with y'all husbands and wives. I want you to tell your husband or wife, I'm not going to do anything for you until after I get everything that I've ever wanted from you in my life. And after that, I'm going to start treating you good. See how long your husband or wife stay.
Oh, they gone. They gone. And that's the wild thing. They've dropped. They don't have UBI on their big platform, right? On the platform that they run on, right? No UBI, no federal jobs guarantee, $15 minimum wage as opposed to a $22 to $25 minimum wage. Depending on where you're from, where you are, whatever. None of the heavy shit. Yeah, I'm with the 25. and all that shit is, you know, and they think they're radical, but socialists across the and the rest of the world are laughing at these people. Bitch, you can't even go to the doctor. You know what I mean? They're a joke. They're a joke. I'm not even a socialist. At best, I was a progressive, right? Now I'm a reparationist, which is much better than a progressive, which is much further left than a progressive party, right? We released our platform. Our platform is the bee's knees, right? As some folks used to say. I'm old. Fuck y'all. But I've been drinking. Our platform is awesome.
It's kind of old, but
yeah, it is old. Yeah, but our platform is the shit. And our platform is fucking people up because they keep throwing this. Oh, you guys are just neoliberals. You guys just hate the left. You guys hate white people. But our platform, though. You can say what you want to about us, but this is our platform. It's just reparations first, and plus a better version of your platform, right? Fuck these people.
A way better version.
Our platform is the new version of the 10-point plan.
It
these
really
bitch
is.
ass motherfuckers, these bitch ass motherfuckers, people, these black people on the left have an issue. And we know why they have an issue, because you don't have any money and you gotta sell your soul as a black person. And you gotta sell your community out.
Are you calling them prostitutes?
Yes, they are prostitutes.
Hoes.
Yes, they're hookers.
We got hoes.
And if I mean the white people, if I mean the POCs, the white people, or the black person that's they pimp, they got another pimp that's a white person. They don't have any control over all this shit. Like, this shit is fucked up, man. Like, we all fucked up. Like, but so at the end of the day, it's like to get black people that care about black people, generally care about black people, to fucking fight for them. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. That's why they can't deal with us. We don't give a. I'm trying to tell you now, we don't care. You know what I mean? Like, we have people that been doing this work. You know what I'm saying?
He's one of the inspirations for this show.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, and another person.
His show is nothing but. Benito's TV ain't nothing but his show with a bunch of Negroes having therapy around his show. That's what Reset Race is. It's a bunch of Negroes saying what the fuck they feel. We bring guests on. We cut videos in, cut videos out. It's Benito's TV, a little looser version of Benito's TV. And Benito's TV is the tighter version. That's what this is, man. So so nobody, we've been saying this shit. We don't care. We don't give a fuck. Like, we gonna say what we want, and we know that it's effective because we're talking the way that black people talk to each other. We talk to each other the way this way, and people that are non-black, non-Negro, fuck that, non-descendant of slavery, are connected to our show because they never heard black. Sam was like, they never heard Negroes talk to each other like this before. Like, I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Like, niggas talk not like this though, not like this. And I'm like,
yeah. White folks are used to hearing. White folks used to, when black people are in their spaces, they get the filtered version of how we talk and how we get down and what we believe and what we think. Yes. Right? Because we know we can't keep a job if we talk about the shit, how we really feel about how the world was really treated us, or how this country has really treated us, or how even these white people around us have treated us. Right? Because we can't keep a job. We can't stay in these spaces. We can't feed our kids. Right? But we have to change that. We have to take some of these risks. We have to take on board some of these risks. It is what it is. Josiah, you look like you want to say something, man.
What up, Joe? What up, Joe?
First of all, Josiah is somebody who we just brought in. Black folks is on this shit. Every person on this podcast lives in a different fucking state.
Facts.
We ride hard as fuck like family. Y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble.
And our family's growing.
Quickly.
And we know more than you. Like, that's why I can't take the freight from the
so please decide, do your thing. Boom.
I can't take these people seriously, right? Because these people are obviously idiots. They'll never convince black people of anything. So I want to talk to the white people who listen to them. Like, I want y'all to know, like, y'all are just like propping up black people who will never be able to sell your causes to actual black people. Like, You're going to have circle jerks around these people, and they'll be able to come back to the hood and tell us nothing because we don't respect these people. These people are telling us we don't need reparations while we're dying from like poverty-related reasons.
He ain't lying. Joe, get these niggas out of here, Joe.
Do you honestly believe like Nick can come to like anywhere, any ghetto you ever been to? Do you think Nick is going to be the guy to convince black people? I welcome you to.
I know for a fact you're not. I know for a fact you're not.
I welcome you to try. And this ain't no invitation for no fight. I don't know you, bro. Look, get your grift to however you got to get to it. Just leave my black politics alone. Stay away from the reparations.
Plus point. No, this is the plus point. No, I mean, nah.
Get him. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, that like y'all can pursue those universalist policies, but like I have the issue with y'all not being worried about my paycheck because y'all told me like all my money is going to capitalists right now, but like I only got a job. I don't even have reparations. So what are we doing about that? What are we doing about it? Or do we only care about all my money going to capitalists when it can get in the way of reparations?
Sounds like an excuse to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like my money been going to capitalists since I've been making money.
Since you were born.
Only care about it now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, like none of your solutions deal with racial hierarchy. That's the problem. This is the issue with your universal solutions. So what's going to happen is no matter what we do, we're going to end up on the bottom. No matter what, if we have socialism, we're going to have Negroes on the bottom of socialism. We got Medicare for all, Negroes going to get the worst of the Medicare for all.
Hey, you be watching our show? Hold on.
Yeah, episode 2. I mean, if you get the doctors, you get the best doctors in the country, I'm going to get the worst. Also, who's going to get these jobs?
Who's going to get these contracts?
Good question. Who's going to be the doctors in this Medicare for all system?
Because I know who's going to be
distributed.
I know who's going to be the worst. Who's going to be the worst off before this starts? So who's going to have the hardest time getting into these positions? Maybe the people that need some reparations, huh?
Good question.
Damn. Sam, you got anything else you wanted? I'm sorry, Mud, you got anything before we go? Before we go any further?
I just wanted to, you know, thank you for the props and all that. But like, honestly, if it wasn't me, it was going to be somebody else. It just had to be said. And I think, you know, everybody was kind of thinking the same thing as far as like, we were kind of geared towards the left because, you know, we understand that basically we understand poverty. Like on a certain level, our people understand it. And we understand that there needs to be, you know, something that's shooken up about the system. Something needs to change in regard to poverty. So we kind of always like lean towards the left in that regard. We've always been paying attention to these people and like we just consistently seen how we get used, like our story gets used to like sell whatever their agenda is. And ultimately we get discarded every time. And like, and it's not even like a thing where they like hide it from us. Like at least the Democrat Party, they do a very good job of trying to like hide the contempt. The leftists, like they show us their fangs all the fucking time. They show us that they're conniving. They're showing that they're working against us. They're not even trying to hide it. If it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be somebody else that was going to do this shit.
Mud just set us up to get into the racist white left. We got a whole, we got stuff. So let's let it die with that fire, and we gonna spark this next one. So let's segue into like.
I say thank you, Mud. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mud. Yeah, you set us up. So first, I'm gonna show this little clip because you know I love my little. It's on my Twitter. So it'll be 2 minutes. You know that Martin Luther King quote where he talks about white liberals. And then I have the thread in from there.
You gonna share a screen or are you just gonna ride where you are?
No, I'm gonna share the screen. I'm just I have to push this down so I can. Oops, no, don't want to do that. There it is. It's hit the wrong button. No, I'm good. Okay, boom. There we go. So let's start with this good old MLK. Towards the end of his life, when he was looking around and seeing, you know, I did some good work, but y'all still ain't worth a good blood nickel. Y'all ain't worth a blood nickel. I ain't gonna cuss because MLK when the cut he would have said y'all wasn't worth a blood nickel. So here we go. Let's go.
There has never been a single, solid, determined commitment of large segments of white America on the whole question of racial equality. I think we have to see that vacillation has always existed, ambivalence has always existed, and this to me is the so-called white backlash. It's merely a new name for an old phenomenon. I see the white backlash as a continuation of the same ambivalence and vacillation of white America on the whole question of racial justice that has existed since the founding of our nation. I think the other thing that we must see at this time is that many of the people who supported us in Selma, in Birmingham, were really outraged about the extremist behavior toward Negroes. But they were not at that moment, and they are not now, committed to genuine equality for Negroes. It's much easier to integrate a lunch counter than it is to guarantee an annual income, for instance, to get rid of poverty for Negroes and all poor people. It's much easier to integrate a bus than it is to make genuine integration a reality and quality education a reality in our schools. It's much easier to integrate even a public park than it is to get rid of slums. And I think we are in a new era, a new phase of the struggle, where we have moved from a struggle for decency, which characterized our struggle for 10 or 12 years, to a struggle for genuine equality. And this is where we are getting the resistance, because there was never any intention to go this far. People were reacting to Bull Connor and to Jim Clark rather than acting in good faith for the realization of genuine equality.
Well, on that note, let's slide into here. What was the Khaleesi talking about? This is what I talk about from the anti-Black left. This is the same shit the so-called racist Republicans say when we talk about reparations. But again, you want Black people to fight with you. Nope. Lefties, you have an anti-Black problem you need to deal with. I'm going to start a thread. Blacks also didn't get genocided like Native Americans. And like most enslaved people throughout history did when an empire was done with them. Blacks got millions of white folks to die for their freedom and made to be citizens rather than killed off or thrown back to where they came from. This is a white leftist. She deleted that tweet, but I want the original tweet. Oh yeah, I had to save it. Because let's go, because this is a whole thread. So let me go into the thread. Woo. But she didn't like that tweet because people got on her ass about it being racist. She deleted it, but you know, that shit be staying. So here's the next one. It's the same chick, man. She was just fucking up, yo. We will keep losing if you all keep pushing for Black first policy in the current corrupted situation where everyone is suffering. If you all keep kneecapping our only chances to gain a foothold from which to fight before the planet dies. Before the planet dies. Negro first, no. Okay. And then a sensible white liberal, white leftist, the planet is not going to die because Black people are fighting for justice and basic recognition of their rights and humanity. It's going to die due to the continued exploitation of other humans, the worst of which they endured in the building of this country. Thank you.
There's hope.
This is the thing. We're not talking about all white people when we be talking about these leftists. This is a whole white man. I ain't got no problem with him. So this is how it all started. She was talking about, she was upset about the Red Rose racists Here, let's go back. Here it is. I love you, Tim, but this is disparaging with phrases like red rose racist and opposing all left, Bernie, etc. These are Chantel voters, I think, K-Hive shit. No, this woman is a fucking peach. This is white woman. They were her property and they were slaves. This is
everything
some
wrong.
Mothers of massive resistance, white women in the politics of white supremacy. We can't even get universal shit passed in this country. You think we will have a better chance of pushing reparations? We're trying to gain a foothold against the right wings in corporate running our government. I want to make sure I get the whole thread because this thread was fire. There was so much stuff going on in this thread. Yeah, I love that shit.
But Sam, but you got you know what that was about though? So that we called them out. They is red rose racist. But the thing about it was like we just called them out. She made her choice of who she wants to attack as a vote and who she doesn't. And she would rather go after her racist grandma that say nigga this, nigga that. And the crazy part about that shit is like, you know how we talk about our grandparents, they went through Jim Crow, they was sharecropping, people was spraying them with fire hoses. But the people that upheld Jim Crow and was spraying them with fire hoses, they're alive too. Yep. And people like, nobody they like, they're alive. They're here, they're alive, and their kids is alive. So like maybe I don't know, like, but at the end of the day, like no, red rose racist is a real shit, and go ahead, go on your display so you can prove that it's a real thing.
Let's keep rocking. Requiring the left to lead with something that helps just one group in the country and get that passed prior to any universal economic program is not only impossible, but dooms the rest of the left project, which would vastly disproportionately help all marginalized groups. We are the poorest of the poor. Stop talking to me about other groups that didn't build this country for free. Try again. We can't even get universal shit passed, and you think we'll get a better chance of pushing reparations while we're trying to gain a foothold against the right-wing corpse. Now, this is yesterday, right? And she just keeps going.
Still going?
No, these are from yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then August 7th, it's not up to me. I could easily pay you guys off like hush money. I don't have the power. We would have enough power to at least get allies in places of power and achieve majoritarian legislation. So you have power to do that, but you don't have power to help us.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, back on the grill again. We grilling them, You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Pennies, Jim Crow, and mass incarceration. Redline and lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one, cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire, anti-black. We pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. To win, you need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.